here. Let's go, baby. Let's have a hell of a day. Keep showing up. Yeah, get that left one, not the right one. Get that left one. Get that left one, dog. Hey, where were you at? Where'd you go, Sven?
Leighton Vander Esch's boat. Something Roberts.
Here? Out here?
Ray Roberts Lake.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I see you right there. Hey. I see you right there. It's like twins. Not. This one, I still see us kind of working that one down. So maybe here, down there, start like at the 35, 38, going that way.
Work it in.
Work our way in. He's the mic, yep, push to him. Good. Under. Dirty. There you go, good. 11. Red zone. One guy's live, red zone. You'll be in the gun. Come on. Run! Stay up! There you go, good. Here we go, real quick. Let's go, line, here we go. Defense, outstanding job, right? You guys had some plays out there, right? You're gonna break it up, I love it, okay? Really good day. Now, can we come out here again and do it tomorrow, okay? I bet we can, I know we can, okay? Family.
Well, if that doesn't get you fired up for minicamp week, I don't know what will. Welcome to another edition of The Blitz. Bill Jones along with Nicole Hutchison here inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. We're going to stay up. We're going to keep the energy up just like Coach Schottenheimer does.
Heck yeah, you got me ready to go run out there and run through a wall for Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, he's bringing some excellent energy, man. You got guys doing TikTok dances, CeeDee Lamb over there celebrating. You love to see it, Bill.
And how many one-handed catches can CD make in one practice? All right, we got much to get to in this edition of The Blitz, but we're going to talk right off the top about that energy level. And how about we hear from Stephen Jones to start things off about what Coach Schottenheimer is like at practice.
You know, the biggest thing of all is, between him and his staff, it's authentic. I mean, you see the energy, it's natural. It's rubbing off on the players. You see Dak out there. I saw him getting involved and having a lot of fun with it. But that's the thing about this game. I mean, people started playing this game because they loved it, and you want to make it fun, and you want the energy levels high. And I think Coach Schottenheimer's getting that done, and getting it done in a way that the players embrace it and want to be a part of it.
That's what Micah Parsons has been missing throughout OTAs. Now it's mandatory minicamp week. Micah has vowed that he will be here. It'll be interesting to see how much he is involved out there. But are you surprised that nothing's happened yet on the contract situation?
Not at all. I mean, you look back at last year, they waited until September of 2024 to get Dak's deal done. You had in August CeeDee Lamb's deal done in 2024. Of course, the year before that, Zach Martin in August of 2023. So there's no surprise at all. The biggest thing for me is that as long as Micah's still doing what he needs to do, which is something that Brian Schottenheimer mentioned that he has been doing, training on his own and making sure he's getting the work. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. He came on Twitter actually earlier this week and told, the media that he plans to be there. He said that, he hasn't missed a minicamp in 4 years, and he has a team, he has teammates, he has a playbook that he knows he needs to start working on, and he doesn't plan to miss out on that.
All right, minicamp starts on Tuesday, runs through Thursday. We're just getting started on this edition of The Blitz. Coming up later, we're going in. One of the highlights of OTAs this year, the legends showed up a week ago Friday, including the playmaker Michael Irvin, other Hall of Famers like Randy White and Bob Lilly, Tony Dorsett, you see right there, and others like Everson Walls in attendance. There's Everson, and what a great day. They got to spend the day here at the Star in Frisco, not only team meetings, but out on the practice field as well. And by the way, Michael Irvin himself says after watching this team for one day during OTAs, they're going to shock the world this year. Welcome back to The Blitz. Bill Jones now with Nicole Hutchison here, and one of the reasons I think Michael is excited about this team is what he saw out on that practice field. Some shining stars during OTAs, and you're going to break down some of them, starting with a guy who was once upon a time a first-round draft pick out of Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray at linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy that since he stepped foot here, he told me that, the Cowboys are going to get a dog, and they're also going to get a dude in the middle of this defense. He said that he thrives best when he is in the middle of this defense. Now, he's taken some reps with the ones at both Mike and the Will position, but again, it's to take with a grain of salt because Brian Schottenheimer did mention that, they're kind of moving guys around a lot this offseason and through OTA. So it'll be a lot of fun to see who ends up winning that Mike position. But you talk about a guy that, hearing Shotty talk about him, he said that he remembers from his 50th birthday that they get ready to play LA, and he said that he was so concerned about a guy like Kenneth Murray because of his athleticism, the way he plays with power. He's an excellent tackler. He also said that he diagnoses plays very well as well. That's something that we have been able to see through OTAs. He said he's the same guy that they last saw in LA. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch, that linebacker room.
He was wearing number 9 with the Chargers, wears number 59 here. How about in the running back room? Miles Sanders, a guy who has done some things in this league.
I'm excited about Miles. Let me tell you something, because, Shotty had also thought really highly of him as well. He said that he is a home run hitter. He can beat you running the football. He can also beat you as a weapon in the passing game as well. He's caught a couple of screen passes from Dak Prescott through OTA so far and turned those into some really big gains. Now, he is a guy that's got some speed, considering he has played 6 years in the NFL. You'd think that there'd be some tread lost on those tires, but there's not at all with him. But he's a guy that also can make you miss in space. I'd love to see, the packages that they could put together with Javonte Williams, maybe some 22 personnel. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch as well with that running back competition, Bill.
All right. I had a chance to talk with Everson Walls about the next guy on your list. It's the cornerback Jaire Elam. And Everson said after watching him on the practice field, he was like, who's that guy? Well, he's a former first-round draft pick, and he's showing some things here.
Yeah, Shotty, love to hear Shotty talk about these guys because he lights up all the time. But he said that, sometimes it's just a fit. Some guys fit for certain schemes, and some guys fit better in certain different schemes. And so in Buffalo, they were a zone-heavy scheme. Of course, Matt Eberflus is looking to play a lot of man, and that's where he thrived in Florida. So love to hear also the fact that they're keeping track of these guys' top speed. He said that amongst all the defensive skill guys, he's hit the top speed consistently all through OTAs. So I'm excited about Jaire Elam. That cornerback room right now, you don't really necessarily know what you have. You have Deron Bland also kind of taking some reps in the slot. You don't really know who your outside corners are solidified yet, so I'm excited about Jaire as well, Bill.
All right, and Jaire Elam, the son of a former Cowboy, Abram Elam. All right, we continue on the blitz here in just a moment. Let's take a trip to the linebacker.
Now, let's check in on Jaire Alexander. I think is a more potentially gettable player for the Dallas Cowboys for a variety of reasons we'll discuss. Of note, though, the Packers have offered a contract restructure to Alexander, but it's not agreed to. And I wouldn't ignore that part either, because until it's agreed to, everything's on the table for Alexander and Green Bay. Matt Schneidman over at The Athletic, the Packers beat writer, had this to say. According to a source with knowledge of the situation, the Packers have proposed a restructured contract to Alexander, which tangibly demonstrates their interest in retaining the two-time All-Pro corner during an offseason in which they have been open to trading him. But Alexander and his agent, John Thornton of Rock Nation, have not agreed to a restructuring yet. Alexander wants to remain in Green Bay, has 2 years left on his then record-setting contract extension. Now, I do wonder, when was that extension offered? If it was recent, that's actually noteworthy. If it was 2 months ago, boy, still haven't gotten anything done yet there. Here's how the contract breaks down. Alexander is owed a $24.64 million cap hit in 2025. The cash in 2025 is $17.5 million. The Packers want to get that figure down. That would then bring down the cap hit. If he were to be traded, the Cowboys would owe him $17.5 million this year. That's a lot of money for the way they do business. If the Dolphins trade him or cut him right now, they save 7.6. At this point, if they had designated him post June 1st or trade him after June 1st, they save $17 million. This could be a bit of a staring contest between Alexander and Green Bay. He probably does want to remain with the Packers, but at a number that he feels valued at. So what happens if the Packers and Alexander don't agree on the figure? Who blinks? Is it Alexander saying, I'm not taking it, cut me if you have to? And is it the Packers saying, okay, we'll do this figure, or do they cut him? Or do they try to trade him again? I think the cash involved makes it unlikely he gets traded because he's missed a lot of time the past 3 years. But he fits what the Cowboys need. He can play inside and outside. He'd be a stopgap option, but a good one. His future, I think even more so than Jalen Ramsey, I think will get dealt, is murky. So this one is the one to monitor for me, especially if he's cut. I don't know if he's going to. I kind of think the Packers would have done that already, but if they can't agree to a renegotiation, maybe that changes. You don't see a lot of post-June 1st action as much as we want it to happen. This is one I think to definitely monitor if he's cut. We will have more updates for you on the Dallas Cowboys all off-season long. We are 839 subs with the next big milestone, 217,000 subs. So join us and get more free Cowboys YouTube videos each and every single day. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Let's talk James Cook. He is not present at the start of Bills' voluntary organized team activities as Cook continues to look for a new contract. I didn't mean to rhyme. I'm sorry. I don't like rhyming like that. Sorry. It is not technically a holdout yet for James Cook. This is all voluntary. He didn't have to be there until mandatory minicamp. The contract is the issue here, much like it is for Alexander. He reportedly wants $15 million per year, or at least that's what he wanted. Some 16, I think kind of dropped it a little bit there. I've seen some Cowboys fans suggest, well, go trade for him. There are issues here, not just involving the money as well. But before we get to that, we mentioned two positions on today's show, running back and cornerback. What do you think is the bigger need for the Dallas Cowboys? RB or CB? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. These are the highest paid backs per year. You can almost ignore the Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey contracts. Those were extreme high-end extensions, at least as it relates to James Cook. In 2 years, if Bijan Robinson keeps it up, maybe that actually becomes a good figure for him. Derrick Henry makes $15 million per year. John Taylor makes 14. The Henry one came in after James Cook's contract requests. Everyone else kind of further down. You got two guys above 12, one other guy above 10, a couple guys around $9 to $10 million. I think James Cook is a very good running back. I think the Bills had a lot of success last year, kind of limiting his workload. He only had 207 carries. He's really been more of a 15, 16 touch per game guy over the course of his NFL career, with still very young, ignoring 2022, by the way. But that's kind of what he's been overall, which I understand why some people want him. I think there are real issues, though, with this as a potential move for the Dallas Cowboys. I think James Cook would be a great fit with Dallas. It fills your running back one need. He comes in. It's a running back trade. Those aren't normally that expensive. Do not get your hopes up. The Cowboys don't pay running backs what they have been worth in the open market. They've kind of changed their strategy there. I doubt they want to give James Cook $15 million, and I don't think the Bills want to trade James Cook. He's their number one back. For all the hemming and hawing we give the Cowboys over their current backfield, a backfield in Buffalo led by Ray Davis and Ty Johnson is like the worst in the NFL, and the Bills are contenders. So I don't get why it makes any sense at all for Buffalo. Remember, it takes two teams to make any trade happen. You have to have our team, the Cowboys, be interested, have the money work out there, and the team making the trade has to be on board. And I think there could be a scenario next offseason. Maybe James Cook right back there in the open market. Maybe there's a franchise tag. Maybe then it makes more sense for him to pursue him. But I think the timing doesn't work out really at all for the Dallas Cowboys. So don't get your hopes up on this one.